The ship floated in silence, spinning slowly in the black. Once it had been fast, powerful, full of life. Now it was broken, dark, and cold. Inside, the lights flickered weakly. Wires hung from the ceiling. Smoke still lingered in some halls. Most of the crew were gone, either dead or missing. Only a few remained, hiding in the last working parts of the ship. One of them was Lyra. She had been a scientist, not a fighter. Her job was to study stars and signals, not to survive war. But that did not matter now. Everyone had to fight just to stay alive. She moved through the narrow halls with slow steps. Her suit was torn, her face tired. She passed frozen bodies, behind glass panels, faces frozen in fear. She tried not to look at them. It hurt too much. Life support was failing. Oxygen was low. Power came and went like breath from a dying animal. Lyra knew they could not last much longer. She reached the control room. It was dark except for blinking red lights. Screens showed nothing but static. She sat down at the main console. Her fingers trembled as she worked. Maybe one last time, she thought. Maybe someone will hear. She turned on the message recorder. The screen blinked. She took a deep breath. This is Lyra of the Silra. If anyone is out there, we need help. Our ship was attacked. We are all that's left. I don't know how long we can hold on. Please, if you hear this, do not forget us. Her voice cracked. She stopped the recording. The message played back once, then faded into silence. She leaned back, exhausted, her eyes closed. She did not know if anyone would ever hear her voice. She did not know if anyone would come. Outside, the stars stayed cold and distant. The ship kept drifting. Hours passed. Days. Time became meaningless. Food was gone. Water was almost gone. More of the survivors stopped moving. Lyra was alone now. She crawled to the bridge and lay on the floor. Her body was too weak to move. She stared at the ceiling. She thought about home, about family, about skies filled with color, not darkness. Then, nothing. The ship floated on, silent and forgotten, until, far away, something changed. A new signal appeared on the edge of space. A ship approached, human, alive. And for the first time in weeks, hope began to stir again. The USR Venture moved slowly through deep space. Its lights were low. Most of the crew were resting. Only a few stayed awake to watch the systems. On the bridge, Captain Jake Harlan sat in his chair looking at the stars. He had been flying ships for years. He knew how quiet space could be. But tonight, something was different. "Captain," said Rachel Turner, the first officer. She looked at her screen. "We're picking up a signal." Harlan stood up and walked over. "Where's it coming from?" "Out there," she said, pointing to a dark patch of space. "Old, weak, not local." He frowned. "Play it." A voice came through the speaker, broken, soft, hard to understand. "This is Lyra, of the Silra. We need help. Our ship was attacked." The message ended. Silence filled the room. "It's alien," said Turner. "Could be fake, could be a trap, could be real too," said Harlan. "We don't leave anyone behind. Not if we can help it." Turner crossed her arms. "You know how far we are. From home? If something goes wrong, no one will hear us scream." He nodded. "I know, but I've seen what happens when we ignore calls for help. People die. Good people." The crew listened quietly. They trusted Harlan. He was not the kind to run from danger if there was a chance to do the right thing. "Set course for the signal," he said. Turner sighed but gave the order. The Venture turned and moved into the dark. Hours passed. Then, on the view screen, they saw it. A wrecked ship floating like a ghost. No lights. No movement. Just silence. "Looks dead," said Dan Porter, the engineer. "No power that I can see. Still might have survivors," said Mia Cruz, the medic. "If someone's alive in there, they won't last long." Harlan looked at the screen. The alien ship was old, damaged, maybe even cursed, but he made his choice. "Prepare a boarding team," he said. "We go in slow, check everything. I want everyone back alive." As the venture drew closer, the wreck seemed even more broken. Time had worn it down. Space had tried to erase it. But inside, hidden in the dark, life still clung to the edges of death. And soon, the humans would find it. The USR Venture moved close to the alien wreck. It looked like a floating tomb, silent and unmoving. The humans knew they were stepping into something unknown, but they had done this before. Rescue missions, salvage jobs, walking through the bones of dead ships. A small team climbed into the boarding pod. Dan Porter led the way, checking his gear. Beside him was Mia Cruz, the medic, ready for anything. Behind them were two others, tech expert Nate Ellis and security officer Luis Garcia. They docked with the alien ship, the connection sealed with a soft hiss. The door opened slowly, revealing darkness inside. "Lights on," said Porter quietly. Beams cut through the gloom. The inside was broken. Wires hung from walls. Panels were scorched. Signs of battle were everywhere. Burn marks, shattered glass, and bodies frozen in time. "This place has been dead for weeks," said Garcia. "Maybe not everyone," Cruz said. "We keep looking." They moved carefully through the halls. Every step echoed. Every shadow felt like it might move. They checked each room. Most were empty. Some held bodies curled up as if trying to survive the cold. Finally, near what looked like the control room, Cruz saw movement. "Over here," she called. They rushed over. Lying on the floor was an alien, small, weak, barely breathing. Her skin was pale, her suit torn, eyes half open. "She's alive," Cruz whispered. Porter checked the area while Cruz pulled out a scanner. The readings were low, but there was life. "We need to get her back fast," Cruz said. They lifted her gently onto a stretcher. The alien stirred slightly but did not wake. Back on the Venture, the crew waited. Captain Harlan stood near the med bay as they brought her in. "Will she make it?" he asked. "Don't know yet," Cruz said. "She's hurt bad, malnourished, dehydrated, but she's strong." Harlan watched through the window as the medic worked. He had seen many things in space, but saving someone always felt like a miracle. Word spread quickly. The crew was nervous, some were curious, others were scared. An alien on board? What if she was dangerous? Rachel Turner walked up beside him. "You realize this changes everything." He nodded. "I know. But we didn't come all this way just to leave her." Outside, the stars stayed quiet. The alien ship drifted behind them, forgotten. But now hope had a new face, and somewhere deep inside that broken body, answers waited to be found. Lyra opened her eyes slowly. The light above was soft, but it hurt. Her body felt heavy, like she had been asleep for a long time. She tried to move, but gentle hands held her down. "Easy," said a voice. It was kind. Human. She blinked and saw faces looking at her. One was a woman with dark hair and tired eyes. The medic, Mia Cruz. "You're safe now," Cruz said. Lyra tried to speak, but her throat was dry. Someone gave her water. She drank, slowly, then looked around. White walls, beeping machines, smell of clean air. Not her ship, not death. She closed her eyes again, trying to remember. The attack, the silence, the cold. And then nothing. When she woke again, she was not alone. A man sat nearby, watching her. He wore a simple uniform. His name was Nate Ellis, the science officer. He smiled gently. "Welcome back." She tried to sit up. This time they let her. Ellis held up a small device. Words floated on the screen. Then he spoke again. "We are trying to understand you. To help." Lyra stared at the screen. Slowly, she pointed at the words and spoke in her own language. Ellis listened carefully. He typed something. The device made a sound, then showed a new word. She nodded. It was slow, but they were starting to talk. Over the next few days, Lyra grew stronger. She walked with help. She ate small meals. She learned more English, and Ellis learned bits of her language. Then one day she told them what happened. My ship. We were scientists. We found something. Something dangerous. Ellis leaned in. What did you find? She looked away. A message. A warning. From another world. My people. Some of them didn't want the truth to get out. Harlan stood, nearby, listening. You were attacked because of this? She nodded. Yes, we were left to die, no rescue, no hope. The room went quiet. If this message is still out there, Harlan said, someone might be reading it now. Lyra's face grew serious. If they are, then they are not just reading, they are preparing. A chill passed through the crew. They had saved one life. But maybe they had also found the start of a war. The USR Venture floated quietly in space, its lights low. The crew moved with purpose, but tension filled the air. Lyra's warning had changed everything. If someone was preparing for war, they needed to act fast. Captain Harlan called a meeting in the command room. Around the table were his closest people: Rachel Turner, Nate Ellis, Dan Porter, and Mia Cruz. Lyra sat quietly beside them, still weak, but her eyes were sharp. We need to find that message, Harlan said. If it's still out there, we have to stop it from falling into the wrong hands. Turner frowned. We don't even know where it came from. And if whoever attacked Lyra's ship is still hunting for it, we could be walking into a fight. We're not ready for. Porter leaned forward. We've got her ship nearby. Maybe there's something left on it. Data logs, records. We should go back. Harlan nodded. Agreed. We send a team over first thing. Later that day, Porter, Ellis, and Garcia suited up and returned to the alien wreck. Inside, the halls were still dark and cold. They moved carefully, scanning for anything useful. In what used to be the science lab, Ellis found a broken console. He pulled out a small data drive. This might be it, he said. Back on the Venture, Nate worked with Lyra to decode the drive. Lines of alien text scrolled across the screen. Slowly, with her help, they translated parts of it. It was worse than they thought. The message wasn't just a warning. It was a map. A map to a hidden world. One with ancient tech, powerful weapons, and someone else was already looking for it. Lyra looked up, fear in her eyes. They will come, she said. They will not let this be found. She was right. Less than an hour later, alarms blared through the Venture. Red lights flashed. Contacts on radar, shouted the sensor officer. Multiple ships, fast. Closing in, Harlan ran to the bridge. On the main screen, shapes appeared, dark, jagged, and armed. They found us, Turner whispered. Garcia stood by the weapons panel. We can't take them all. Harlan looked at Lyra. She met his eyes. They want me dead, she said, and this ship destroyed. He took a breath. Then we make sure they don't get either. Outside, the enemy ships grew larger. The silence of space was about to be broken by fire and steel, but the Venture was not going down without a fight. The USR Venture shook as the first enemy shot hit its shield. Alarms screamed across the bridge. Lights flickered red. The crew scrambled to their stations. Shields at 70%, shouted Garcia from the weapons console. Harlan gripped the edge of his seat. Evasive maneuvers. Get us out of their firing arc. Turner worked the controls. The Venture rolled hard to one side, dodging another blast. Outside, enemy ships moved like sharks, circling prey. They're fast, she said. We can't outrun them forever. Lyra sat near Nate Ellis, watching the screen. Her face was pale, but her voice was steady. They want me dead. They will not stop until the ship is gone. Ellis looked at her. Then we make sure they don't get what they want. Back on the bridge, Harlan made a decision. Porter, I need that alien power core you found. Can you hook it into our systems? Porter's voice came over comms. I can try, but it's unstable. This could blow us all to pieces. We don't have better ideas, Harlan said. While Porter and crews worked below deck, Turner kept an eye on the enemy ships. They're trying to box us in. If they do, we're finished. Harlan nodded. Then we give them something else to look at. Minutes later, Porter's voice came back. Okay, core's connected. We've got one shot to use it as a decoy. Hit the switch and boom, we light up the whole sky. Do it, Harlan said. A small pod launched from the Venture, carrying the alien core. For a few long seconds, nothing happened. Then space lit up. The explosion was bright and hot, sending shockwaves through the dark. One enemy ship was caught in the blast and torn apart. The others veered away, confused. That's our chance, Turner said. Harlan pointed at the navigation screen. Take us behind that asteroid field. We hide, regroup, and get ready for the next move. The Venture dove into the rocks. Enemy ships searched the area, scanning for wreckage. They found nothing. Inside the Venture, the crew breathed again. Just barely. Porter leaned against the wall. That was too close. Crews checked her gear. We won, but just barely. Lyra looked around the room. These humans had risked everything for her. She didn't know if her people would have done the same. Outside, the stars were quiet once more. But somewhere, the enemy was still out there. And they would be back. The USR Venture returned to human space, but it was not the same ship that had left. The crew had changed. They had seen war begin before their eyes, and they knew it was only the start. Captain Harlan stood on the bridge watching as the station grew larger on the screen. Messages were sent ahead. Command needed to know what had happened. But he already knew how most would react. Some would listen, some would doubt, and others would want to stay out of it. Rachel Turner walked up beside him. Do you think they'll believe us? He sighed. Some will. Enough, I hope. In the science lab, Nate, Ellis, and Lyra worked together, translating more of the alien message. The map still held secrets. The hidden world was real. And now, both humans and aliens knew about it. Lyra looked tired, but calm. You saved me, she said. Not just my life. You gave me a reason to keep fighting. Ellis smiled. We're not so different. She nodded. Maybe not. Later, Harlan called a meeting. He asked Lyra if she wanted to stay with them. She thought for a long time before answering. Yes, she said. For now. I want to learn your people. And maybe help protect what's coming. Weeks passed. The Venture was given a new mission, to help form a joint task force between human forces and any friendly alien species willing to stand against the growing threat. It was the first step towards something bigger, an alliance. Dan, Porter, and Mia, crews helped adapt alien tech for human use. Science and defense teams studied the data from Lyra's ship. The enemy had tried to erase the truth, but now it was spreading. One evening, Lyra stood near a window looking at the stars. Harlan joined her. You okay? He asked. She looked at him. I used to think I was alone, that my people were the only ones who mattered. Now I see. We all share this sky. He nodded. And we all have to protect it. Outside, ships moved through space like birds. Not just human ships, others too. The silence of space was broken. Not by war, but by voices working together. Hope had arrived, and it was stronger than fear.